Hello. I'm making this message very early on Wednesday morning. I've discovered that grief has been a problem, and I believe I've pinpointed that in this Holy Week coming up to the resurrection service that we will be having. But tonight, in our Wednesday night empowerment session, I want you all to think throughout the day, and I want you to write down something that you lost, whether it be a family member, a promotion, an opportunity, whatever it is that you feel that you have lost. And 9 times out of 10, while you're hearing my voice, whatever it is that you lost is coming up in your mind. I want you to write it down. I want you to come into the service tonight because the anointing is going to be present. I believe the anointing is even on my life to help those who are grieving. I believe this week has been a week of revealing what our true problems are. I believe your performance could be a whole lot better if you weren't grieving over some previous loss. So I want you to write it down. We will have index cards tonight. If you do not have it written down before you arrive at church, then we will have cards where you can write it down. Whatever it is, don't minimize what it was, because anything that stimulated grief, we're going to deal with it on tonight. Grief is not going to hold you. You're not going to be held up in a day that no longer exists. It's time for us to get beyond the grief. And grief is not just a loss of a loved one. It's a loss of anything that was dear to our hearts. So whatever it was that was dear to your heart, I want you to write it down, because you're going to be free from the grief of that thing. Your health is going to get better. Some of you will be instantaneously healed and delivered tonight, because we're dealing with the spirit of grief. Grief has a way of causing deterioration in your physical body, but we're going to turn that around, and your intellect is going to go to an all-time high. Your memory is going to increase, and you will no longer be stagnant by the grief of the past losses. So I look forward to seeing you tonight. Pass this on to as many friends as possible, because if you're in the house tonight and you have that on your list, I believe the anointing on my life is going to help you to process and be delivered from that spirit of grief, where no longer will you be grieved over something that God has already planned for you to overcome, and not only overcome, but to enter into a greater level of success after than it was before. I believe this is your time, and the anointing is present to increase your life and not decrease your life. I love you. I look forward to seeing you tonight. Make sure you make your list, and we're going to make sure that grief doesn't hold you back any longer. God bless. I'll see you tonight.